Welcome everyone back to Fallout 4 and the settlement build for Eco Lake Lumber Mill. This is in Far Harbor and I did a little bit of building here, not much. Well, let's first start off with the most important thing, enemy spawn locations, and here's one right here. There's a nice big settlement to build in, so all depending on how and what type of thing you want to build in it. But you've only got one spawn location, and that is right in front of your settlement. You can see here's the entrance over here. So I've got some defenses up over there on that little platform and like that. There's a couple of turrets standing on certain places around the settlement as well, just for extra protection. And I'm going to be changing the weather while we do this because I can't, well, I literally can't see anything once the weather changes, and then obviously you guys can see a little bit better for the purpose of the video, of course.
You're one of them vault people with the funny suits?
Yes, I'm one of the vault people. Okay, so you can see I built up a whole bunch of scrap walls here. This is, I would say, a very poor settlement. You know, the place is falling apart. I tried to repair some of the walls and things like that. I'll show you guys. So we got a whole bunch of scrap walls up here.
Don't much care for good neighbor.
Okay, let me just go into my build mode. It's going to be easier with these guys at the moment. Otherwise everybody talks. Okay, so there we go, up to our defenses. We've got a little watchtower over here with a security guard at the front gate. Obviously we got all these fog condensers that clear the fog around here, which is for all the settlements. It's a pity we couldn't use these stores, because all these little things, all this is shops. It would have been cool if they would include it. Look at, they've got shops back there. Here's one, there's one. There's shops over there. We've got a building there. They should have actually included that in the settlement itself. Now obviously I cleaned the place up, most of it. There's some trash and things in certain places like that we can slowly take away, but most of the garbage and all the necessary things I took out. So let's work our way around here. I didn't build or do anything on this side, I just cleaned everything up. So you can see a lot of this stuff you can take away. I left everything here. Picked up a bunch of these saws and things that have been lying around, so I just dropped it over here so it looks like it's being used. And then just cleaned out all the unnecessary things around here. Like these things I take out. Okay, that can stay. We go around here. There you can see I filled in the walls here from the inside, just to give it a little bit of covering. And we got lights and stuff. I'll show you guys when we get inside there. You can block it off. See, like even up there I built up in the inside just to close it off a little bit. There's your workbench. And I didn't want to change any of the original things around here, so I'll try to leave everything. Here we've got this building is here, so I just left it here. We've got all the wooden things, so you'll get a lot of wood out of it if you know, scrapping the place up. But when you take away the original thing, see now my eyes are very bad. I can't hardly even see with this weather like this, so I have to change it either way. Okay, this is all part of the original settlement. I just cleaned it up a little bit. As you can see, I left everything mostly as it was. But you can build everywhere in here. If you look, the settlement goes all the way. There's a fog condenser down there, and it heads all the way in there. So you can build a very big settlement here. So it goes all the way down. I didn't even walk down this way. I don't even know what's down there. Some scrap and plants and stuff you can still do here. But see, I left everything as is back here. Okay, we work our way down here. So this is the farming area. There's our Brahmin and his little feeding area. So I just spread out all the farming stuff. So these people don't have a real set way of doing things. It's just spread out everywhere, which is kind of nice to fill the area up. I left these trucks and things here. This you'll find when you come to the settlement. is a lumber mill after all, so you've got to have a bit of a lumber look to it. I spread out some workstations and the shops and everything I spread out around here. And then we've got the caravanners that can come inside here and then stay in wood. Here we got, this is Crash Can Carla and Lucas, our armor guy. Okay, so we've got a couple of the stores just spread out and things. Here's a couple of the workbenches so people need to use it. And here we got obviously our food and bar little area. A little makeshift barn shack thing that they built. So at least we got something pushing up our happiness, which is going up now eventually. This was down very, very low because I didn't do anything. It was like way down to 40 or something. Thing is, once you start getting like 50 and 40 and 30, you stand a chance of losing the settlement as well. So that's something to keep in mind. See how the weather changes here? That's terrible. I can't see, so I'm gonna have to change it and we can see a bit better. That's my power armor. Okay, here's another one here. We've got a couple of animals. We've got our power source. Got a terminal and a beacon up there, obviously. There's some of our water supply. So now as we head inside, actually there's usually a big hole in the wall here. So this whole place is built up with different scraps and walls and stuff like that. And there's nothing fancy going on except for the lockers. So we've got a couple of lockers down here. We've got a non-functional toilet. They've just got a bunch of beds. So this area usually is like a shop. So there's a lot of equipment that's sold on shelves. So I just cleaned this area out with this one down here. So, and left some of the equipment here. So I just put down some beds and carpets just to fill it in. And they've got a place to sleep. And you can see how I fill the walls in a bit. If you just place it right in the right way, and then some of them mostly snap back into, well, snap in with the other walls. So it does make it look a little bit better. Okay, so we've got 24 beds. And we've got enough food and water to cover everybody. And then up here, I was able to fill in the floor a little bit. So I just attached it to the walls and things that were here, and then I could fill in some of the floor at the bottom because there's a big hole that's over here. So we've got our workstations and stuff. And then, okay, I added that, and then I routed some of the power through on the upper wall. So at least we got lights. So there's lights inside here. You can see there's lights over there. We've got lights down there and below us as well. Okay, so the settlers travel everywhere inside here. They go everywhere. Well, mostly the front and then inside the building. They have got a little clinic. We put that inside obviously because you want to be healthy and clean. So people come up here. They do come all the way up. See the clinic lady. It's got, what's in your mouth? You got wet lipstick on, sorry. Most of the things inside are left as is. So here's a terminal, and you've got all this that was part of the build itself. Some of the items I just straightened out and cleaned up a little bit, and just stuck a plank down here to close up this hole. And you can see here I was able to close up this hole here, and I put in the pieces of wood here to just seal it up a little bit. And then we've got a little storage area and sitting area, lady. Do you mind? Thank you. Okay, so there's a lot of garbage that's lying around, so I just cleaned it up a little bit. Yeah, I filled in the gap here, made a couple of seating areas, and got the wall here. I suppose I could fill in the roof a little bit, but to make the area a bit smaller, I didn't want to change it too much. So people do come up here. The one main thing is in your settlements is to try and get your settlers to move everywhere. So one good thing is to try and actually spread your things all over the place. Even like this, where I've got all these workstations here. if you spread it all over your settlement, then now there's more chance that the settlers will move everywhere. Even with your beds and things like that. I know sometimes it's difficult, especially depending on the size of the settlement. But if you can move, you know, make like, instead of one big room with 30 beds, make 5 rooms spread out with beds in each one. That's, you know, it forces them to move around and things like that. And with gardening and all these little things. But it's depending on your style of building and what you're going for and everything. And that's about it. I can give you guys a quick little overview. I think, you know what, let's take a little flight. I can take a flight here. Where is my, let me just change it. Do a little bit of camera here. You guys can see how the place looks like from the air. Okay, so there, all that are built up there. We've got our entertainment, we've got all the traders and shops. Here's a whole farming area over here. Then you got this whole area at the back you can also build onto. You can build a dock up if you want to. But it depends as well if you're playing with mods. If you know, it makes it actually easier when you're playing with mods because there is more things you can build, things you can move around, add on, and all of that. So this is a pretty big place to build on. You can technically remove this entire rocky dirt hill area over here if you want it, and that edge. Move all the scrap down there, all the wood. Entirely up to you. You can build a hotel if you want. I imagine if you actually were to remove every single building and everything in here, then you will have a lot of space to build. But then it takes away the original feeling of the settlement itself. Okay, well, guys, that is settlement built for Eco Lake Lumber Mill. I think these people were actually going to have a festival the day the bombs dropped. So I see the festival sign. Lumberjack Festival. And just beware when you do come into the settlement that there is ghouls and things around here and ghoul ambush points and stuff. So be careful. But that's the basic tour. So didn't do too much. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.